Sabaho everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to give you guys my unboxing and initial impressions of the brand new, just announced Honor 20 Pro. This device is promising us a lot of things, especially with the camera setup that we see on this device. But not only that, they took all of the really nice things that we loved about the Honor View 20 and they brought it in here and they just kicked it up a notch. This is TK, let's check it out. So here we have it. This is the Honor 20 Pro. This is the green version of it. My understanding is going to be a couple of colors available for this device. You can definitely see here that we have the punch hole camera that's sitting there, and then of course we have the camera array sitting on the left side, well, technically on the back of this device. And here we have it. Now, the first thing I want to mention to you guys is that this is not the official box, meaning what we have here essentially is just pre-release. So whatever we see here, please tune into the actual launch day, and I'll share with you guys some pictures from the official boxes and whatever we see at the launch event. Of course, what you can see is the green color, the nice new backing, super reflective. You can actually see the camera up there, and you can actually, yeah. But this is definitely one of their new designs, and you can probably remember from last year when we saw the Honor 10, they kind of went with similar designs. It's that whole reflective Aurora look, but this time is a little bit different. And we'll talk a little bit more about the finish that we have here. We can definitely see that we have a triple camera. I can take that back. I see 4 cameras. So basically it's AI quad camera setup. So we have 1, 2, 3, and I'm assuming that's the 4th one. A dual tone LED flash. We have the Honor logo sitting here. On the left side, we have a dual SIM tray, capable obviously supporting 2 SIM cards. Unfortunately, no nano memory. On the top, we have one of the microphones as well as the IR blaster, as we have a built-in IR blaster here for remote control. And of course, we have the top earpiece that's ever so slightly sitting here right at the top. Now, on the right side of the device, we have a volume rocker and the fingerprint scanner. As you can see, it's not built into the display. It's not sitting in the back. It's actually sitting on the right side, and it doubles as a power button. So I can actually use it, and it is super fast. As you can imagine, I've been using this device for the last couple of days, and that's how I'm able to do this video for you guys. On the bottom, we have a bottom firing speaker. We have a USB-C for data charging as well as audio, as this device does not include a 3.5mm headphone jack, and of course this last microphone that we have here. Now on the front, we're looking at a 6.26 IPS 1080p panel with the full view display, which means we have the camera sitting here at the top left. And talking about the cameras, this is a 32 megapixel camera that's supporting obviously selfies, HDR, as well as AI. On the back, the camera setup that we have here is basically a quad camera setup. We have a 48 megapixel sensor at f1.4, which is basically what they're saying down there. We have a 60 megapixel wide angle lens sensor, as well as an 8 megapixel telephoto sensor, capable of giving us 3 times optical zoom. And the last sensor that you have there is a 2 megapixel, basically a macro lens, capable of providing us that really super macro shots. But we have it as a dedicated camera here, as opposed to just having basically some kind of a software option where they use the wide angle lens to kind of zoom in. We have a dedicated camera for that, so hopefully we'll be able to get some really good pictures from that. Now looking at what's left in the box, we have a SIM ejector tool, and I'm assuming the official box will include some materials as well as a one of those clear cases. Most Honor devices usually come with that. So we have the Huawei Charge charger here. This is a European style plug. The main thing here is that we don't have the 40-watt charger. This is the 22.5 watt charger, so still capable of providing us super fast charging, just no 40-watt charging. So very much similar to the way we had it on the View 20. We have USB Type A, USB Type C, data and charge cable, as well as an actual dongle, which is, believe it or not, a surprise in 2019, because most carriers now, or most OEMs, are removing even putting the dongle in the case. But the really cool thing is, with the use of this dongle, you'll be able to use the new Hisense audio optimizations that they have here for basically getting you surround sound, or basically simulated software surround sound with high quality audio playback. So you shouldn't be disappointed. And of course, we have the beautiful 6.26, of course, full view display here. Now, as far as what we have this year is, we have an upgraded 6.26 display from last year's 5.84 inch display. And of course, what we also have is a bigger battery. We have a 4,000 milliamp battery built into this device. This is the Honor 20 Pro. So keep in mind, the 20 and the 20 Lite are slightly different. And hopefully we'll have some more information about those at the launch event. The display itself still supports the punch hole camera. This is a 32 megapixel camera, similar to the way we saw it on the View 20, and it just looks absolutely fantastic. The launcher that we have here is supported by the Magic UI 2.1, so we definitely have a much more updated software experience. We have the Kirin 980 powering as far as the SoC, and 8 gigs of RAM on this model, and 256 gigs of internal storage. As I mentioned to you guys, this is a 6.26 inch IPS LCD panel running at 1080p, and of course, as far as the security patch update, is as latest as May 5th. So this is definitely running the latest and greatest version of Android on it with the Magic UI version 2.1 on top. Now, what that means essentially is that that this is running a newer version of the software than what we have on the View 20, as that one's still running Magic UI 2.0. Now, Magic UI 2.0 is very much similar to the way EMUI 9.0 is. The same way with 2.1 to 9.1, so you can make the transition between the two. At some point, Magic UI will start differ a lot from what we can see from EMUI. But at the current state, they have a lot of similarities, and one of which obviously is the gestures, which is what you can see right there. And of course, the ability to launching the assistant sitting here on the right side. And of course, when we hit here, we can actually go back and then go home. The gestures are very nice and very smooth. You can customize them by going into the settings tab, going down into system, and then going into system navigation. You have gestures, 3-key navigation, and of course the navigation dock. The 3-key navigation is standard and you can customize them. You have the ability of adding different options in them as well to be able to bring down the notification panel if you'd like to do that, in case you don't want to overreach to the top. But unfortunately, when we go to full gestures, we don't have that functionality. We'll just say cancel. I don't want to do the tutorial. And of course, it just becomes very easy. We have all the same functionalities that we've had before. Some of the optimizations with the ability of remapping the power button to launch the assistant is in here. We, of course, have basically wireless projection to be able to use basically EMUI desktop from this phone on any display, and it works really nice. Built-in screen recorder, of course, hotspot, eye comfort, the Huawei Share, all of this stuff. But the main star of this entire option is it's that the Honor 20 Pro is not only stylish, but that's one of the main things that they do with the Honor 10, 20, the regular numbering as far as the actual devices, as opposed to the View or the Play, is that these are supposed to be stylish, powerful devices, and this just does not disappoint. It looks amazingly, really nice. It's rounded on the back and a flat display on the front, and you can see how the design looks really cool. Now, the camera does have a bump, and it is basically protruding at this point, which unfortunately, if you don't have a case on it, means we are in Wobble City. So I'm pretty sure once we put a case on this stops becoming an issue. And once I get a case, I'll definitely be putting one on here. Hopefully a clear one so we can enjoy the color on this device. Now, jumping into the camera itself is equipped with the new sensor options. As you can see right there, we have standard focal length. We can go to 3 times optical zoom. So this at this point we're using is the telephoto lens. And of course we can jump over to 5 times. And at this point we're starting to go with somewhat more of a hybrid zoom. And what I mean by that is it's actually kind of focusing and sharpening the image. Now, we can go all the way up to 30, and that's basically the most zoom that you ever want to do. And you can kind of see right there, that's the ring. And it's just, unfortunately, this is really meant for long distance. It's not going to be the best one to use here. But the last one I wanted to share with you guys is the wide angle lens, which just gives us the ability of just basically seeing our entire subject. It's very nice, and it is present in here. And the really cool thing about this is you can actually use this when we go into, we'll go here into video. And even in video, you have the ability of basically choosing it. Let's switch over to the back. So you can either jump between the 1, the 3, the 5, or all the way to the wide angle lens. Although in video, it is slightly cropped. So just keep in mind in photos and videos, in photos, generally you're getting basically the best image possible. So you'll see right there, here is the wide angle lens in photo. If I go to video and I do wide, it's slightly cropped. Photo, as far as the ability of using AI, is pretty much an easy one. You turn on and turn it off. We do have the ability of using the AI Ultra Clarity, so that one you need to go in there. By default, out of the box, it's a 12 megapixel 4:3 aspect ratio image. You can go all the way to the 48 megapixel AI Ultra Clarity, which is what we saw in the View 20, and this produces just amazing images. If you want to get a full screen image, of course, that'll be at 7 megapixels. Just keep that in mind. The same options here, nothing major as far as the options. Portrait mode, we have the ability of turning that on. Studio lighting, customize the options here, and of course beauty level if you want to turn that on. Night mode is supposed to be enhanced and even better. We'll definitely get a chance to check it out, and I'll share with you guys some images. Last but not least, we have AR lenses, which we've had from before, essentially using the front-facing camera to turn on some of these benefits there. And again, the front-facing camera also supports AI, and of course the ability of turning it on or turning it off, and it automatically recognizes the subject to turn on portrait mode if you're doing that. Under the More tab is where we start seeing some of the additional features. We have Pro HDR, the super macro lens here, uses the actual sensor that I shared with you guys. So what I mean by that essentially is that we're able to get really close to the actual image itself, and you can see how close my hand and the phone is on it, and you're still able to get a fully very clear image to be able to snap. So that's the benefit of having that dedicated 2 megapixel macro lens. We have slow motion, of course, panorama, aperture mode. That's just more of a manual version, as opposed to portrait, where portrait recognizes people. Aperture mode is whenever you want to be able to dilate in yourself to be able to get that bokeh effect out of the lenses in the back. The light painting, that's more of a dark image painting with light source. Time lapse, of course, moving picture, filters, stickers, of course, documents. I think there's sometimes they'll include more, but these guys are already installed, and you can customize them in whatever order you'd like. As far as the images and what we can get out of this device, as you can imagine, I've been using this for the last couple of days here over the weekend, and I'm going to share with you guys also some pictures that I actually took from London during my trip, as I'm going to actually finish editing this video while I'm in London, so that I'm able to take some pictures of well, using this device as I'm traveling to London. But the main thing I wanted to share with you guys is this quick little video that I've shared with you guys. It was a very nice cycling event that was going here. Overall, as far as the images that we're able to get out of this device, they look really nice, very clean. The front-facing camera, as far as just basically selfies, look really, really good. And of course, just regular images. My son is enjoying his crepe right there. Just look really, really nice. Overall, as far as images and quality of the images, what we can get here is just absolutely fantastic. You can see super amount of detail. It looks just vivid. The colors just pop. AI clarity is really, really nice, and I wouldn't recommend using AI clarity on a flower that's sitting this close to you. You want to be able to use it on much more just basically, I would say just open and very much non-moving subjects, as AI clarity does take an extended exposure of the actual images that you're trying to take. But again, I usually try to do focusing here, and you can definitely see the water drop into this flower, as that was basically my attempt to try to use that macro lens and just to be able to get really, really close to that flower and just enjoy how it looks. Just absolutely fantastic, and that's the exact same flower right there. I'll go ahead and show you guys some really good images and videos that I've taken from my trip from here all the way to London, as well as some other ones, and we'll come back and do the closeout. Okay, so we're using the front-facing camera on the brand new Honor 20 Pro. This is capable of going all the way to 1080p at 30 frames per second. Unfortunately, no 4K recording, but we are definitely enjoying some really good processing now on the 32 megapixel sensor, especially when we're taking selfies. Let's go ahead and switch over to the back-facing sensor. Now, one of the really cool things about the back-facing sensor is the ability of using any one of the 3 sensors that you have on the back. Now, the maximum we can go is 4K at 30 frames per second, which is what I'm recording this video on. And the reason I wanted to show that for you guys is that we actually have OIS on here that gives us the ability of stabilizing the footage that we get in the back. But let's say you want to be able to switch over to that wide-angle lens. Even in mid-video, you can actually click the wide-angle lens, and of course, you can fit so much more in your picture. And of course, you can do telephoto, but I'm not gonna do a telephoto again. I did that one time before. I'm not gonna do that again, where I just telephoto straight into my face. This is just too close of an image. But you can imagine that, you know, using telephoto on video will also be very helpful. The Honor 20 Pro is definitely upping the game from what we had last year with the Honor 10. It's not only giving us the latest and greatest, we have 8 gigs of RAM, the Kirin 980, we have massive storage up to 256 gigs, and of course the ability of using 4 sensors, actually using 4 sensors to take images. We have obviously the 48 megapixel sensor, the 16 megapixel sensor wide angle lens, the 8 megapixel sensor, the telephoto lens, and then the 2 megapixel macro lens. Now, I wasn't sure at the beginning of why we want to add a macro lens, because technically we can use the wide angle lens to simulate that, and we've seen it before, but definitely having a dedicated sensor, I think it's Honor's way of looking into it and saying, look, we'll give you a dedicated mode, but we'll also give you a really good sensor to be able to just focus in on what you want to take a picture with. So I'm hoping you guys appreciate that as well. The front-facing sensor is definitely very nice. Unfortunately, we're still capped at 1080p, and I would have wished to see a little bit more as far as the actual quality of the video that we can get out of there. Again, it's a 32 megapixel sensor. It's technically somewhere between the 16 and the 48 that we have on the back sensors, and we can do 4K in the back. So I'm hoping a software update can definitely push that out. As far as the overall impressions of this device, after using it for about 2 to 3 days, I'm very impressed. Definitely all of the things I loved on the Honor View 20 are here, but in a more, I would say user-friendly experience. This is definitely a one-handed device that you can use. There's not as much as far as I would say the finger gymnastics that you have to do. And it looks really good. That's one of the things with the Honor line of devices. The 10, the 9, even the Honor 8, when we first started with the reflective pack, the material that we have here is extremely well balanced, and it just looks absolutely fantastic. I definitely want to get a case that's clear so that I can actually make sure to see and share, well, let people see the colors that we have here. The launch event will be in London on the 21st, and I'll be providing more coverage of this. So hopefully by the time you see this video, check out my Instagram and my Twitter accounts to be able to basically see some of the other images and stuff, and I'll be probably doing a live feed straight from there. So if you have any questions, make sure you hit me up there and you'll know exactly what to do. Like and subscribe as usual. Thank you very much for the support, and I'll see you guys in the next video.